What's up, guys? Welcome back to Pound for Pound House. Back to Dricus Duplessis. Where does he go from here, right? I want to give you guys my thoughts on it. So I think he has a couple options, right? So he wants to fight Izzy. I know there's a couple guys that want to fight him. Hamza Chimaev wants to fight him, which I don't see that happening. I know Hamza Chimaev was just out today saying how he's super upset about he was promised the fight after the Kamaru fight. He was promised the title after the Kamaru fight, and they just, they're not giving it to him or whatever it might be. Once again, we don't really actually know what's going to happen with that because he might actually get the fight. So he might actually get the fight, and you never know. I mean, because 300 main event's not announced, and so we don't know anything about that yet. And that could be, him, but I doubt that. I think he'll get his shot. I just don't think it's yet. Then he also has the option to, obviously rematch Sean Strickland. But I almost think that it's probably not the best idea for Sean Strickland to rematch right now. I think he goes, takes a break, takes some time off. He's had a couple fights in the year, in the year span at least, not this year obviously, and within a year span. So yeah, he's had a couple fights, but I think he's got plenty of money right now, so he can probably take some time off, and he'll be all right. Now, his last option is, well, one of his last options would be him versus Izzy. Now, does Izzy come back for 300? I did see a post, I think, where Izzy was kind of training. He looked like he was training again. So there's a possibility he comes back. But aside from that, who else is left? What about the fight between Paul Acosta and Robert Whittaker? Now, the thing is, Paul Acosta and Robert Whittaker is in February. There's a big chance that could be, they could be the next guys up if Izzy doesn't want to jump in or they don't give the fight to Hamzat. I mean, they might even just give it to whoever wins this 290 fight. It's a 298 fight. It's on February 17th, so it's fairly close. And also, there's probably enough time for them to prepare it, depending on damage after that fight, if they're going to shoot for 300. If it's not 300, then they're probably going for, sometime in the summer, which obviously gives them more than enough time. But that's if Izzy comes back first and says, hey, listen, I want the fight. But on the other hand, they could make Izzy and Hamzat, which would be a very interesting matchup. They make those two as a title contender fight and see how that goes while, DDP heals up. I mean, there's so many directions with this. I don't know, there's so many ways as this can go, and they're all so good. Because I don't mind seeing DDP fight Paul Acosta or even refight Robert Whittaker. I was just watching Robert Whittaker's podcast, the MM Arcade, and he was saying how he didn't have sufficient, or he underestimated Dricus. I guess he didn't think he was going to be that tough, I guess, looking at his previous fights. And I think that we all thought the same thing. I think that we were all like, he's not going to be all that crazy. Because, looking at what he was doing with Darren Till, and Brunson. So we all did the same thing. We were all in the same boat. Don't lie don't lie and say that, you weren't. You were. You were thinking the same shit. So it'd probably be good to see the rematch again, maybe, depending on how this fight goes between him and Acosta. But yeah, I mean, there's so many directions this goes. But I personally think that Izzy should be the one to take it. Now, will Izzy actually take the fight? We'll see. Will it be on 300? Will it not? We'll see. I would like to see Izzy versus Dricus. So here's my early prediction on Izzy and Dricus. I think Izzy wins. Hear me out. The reason why I think Izzy wins is because Izzy, I feel at least, wasn't the same fighter, or I think he underestimated Sean when he was going in. He didn't expect that jab, like he said. He didn't expect what Sean brought to the table. And shit, I mean, right now I'm a huge Sean fan. So I think after this fight, his stock went up. It didn't go down. And, you know, the way that fight went down, I felt like it wasn't the same Izzy that we're usually used to seeing. And it just, you know, it turned out to be a shit show for him. But I don't think that's going to happen with Dricus, because I think that he had it in his mind that he was going to fight Dricus. And the fact that he didn't get a chance to because Dricus pulled out due to an injury, he was not so, like, I want to say, you know, when somebody's like, you know, I'm like, I'm not really crazy about it. I'm not into it. I don't really care for it so much. I think he thought he was going to cruise through it, because if you look back at it, you know, Jared Cannonier beat Strickland. So he's looking at like people that he's beaten before himself that have beaten Strickland. So he was probably like, hey, you know, whatever. This is just my opinion on this. But I think that's probably what was running through his mind as well. Does he dominate Dricus? I don't think he dominates Dricus, but I do think that he wins by like a decision or something like that. I think he outstrikes him. We've seen some stuff that, you know, we've seen how Dricus handled with Sean, and I honestly almost somewhat counted out Sean, thinking that, you know, Dricus' power might be too much for Sean. And, you know, shit, I was wrong about that one. And that being said, I don't think he beats Izzy, because Izzy just, you know, so well-rounded. I don't think he's gonna get down Izzy as easy as we think. I don't think he's gonna take him down. I mean, if he's gonna strike with him, I don't know if that's really gonna work out with him. I think Izzy's gonna prepare way better this time around. I'm not counting out Dricus completely. I'm just saying that this is just my early prediction on this. I think that Izzy wins. I think Izzy's just overall, to me, a better fighter. And I'm not discrediting Dricus, but I don't think it would go in his favor. And that's that, honestly. Moving on to something else I just wanted to quickly just touch up on. Sean Strickland. I was watching Jesse on Fire. Shout out to Jesse on Fire for doing a poll. You know, who's the more popular fighter, whom I think people want to watch more right now between Sean and Conor McGregor. Sean Strickland. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I had mentioned this actually in one of my previous videos, and I kept saying that Sean Strickland will become a mega star, and I really still believe that. I still believe Sean can become a mega star, because he's, you know, Conor McGregor in his own way was a very, you know, he was a very loose guy, but Strickland's a loose guy too, but I think Strickland also is like the voice of the people, where people are just don't like things that people want to say today, they can't say, but Strickland says it. And, you know, obviously Dana White doesn't give a fuck. He's just like, whatever, you guys do what you got to do. You know, everybody understands that there's going to be consequences to whatever they say. It falls on themselves. But, you know, Dana White's like, hey, this is the fight business. You know, I don't control what they say. It is what it is. So I think that because of those reasons, Sean becomes that much more popular, that much more liked, that much more wanted. People will love to see him on 300. That was the poll. The poll was that who did they want to watch more? Who would they like for UFC 300? And Sean Strickland was at like 60%. So that is amazing to see. And I'm actually super happy to see that. I'm happy for Sean Strickland. And thanks again, Jesse on Fire, for that poll. Obviously proves the point that I've been trying to make this whole time. And, you know, Sean Strickland's going to be a superstar, a megastar. If he's not there right now, he will be there. He's on his way. I'm excited to see him, you know, fight again. But I think as of right now, he probably should take some time off. You know, that was a rough fight for him. But, you know, hopefully we see him soon. He'll come back stronger. And, yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Who do you think Dricus is going to fight next? Is it going to be Izzy? Is it going to be Hamza? The winner between Paulo Costa and Robert Whittaker. Who do you guys got? And I'll see you guys in the next one. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like this video. Also, if you're enjoying the content, please consider subscribing and don't forget to hit the bell icon so you can see all the new videos I upload.